A guy came to me after my brother got shot. He came to me and he said, Peggy, listen, Sifi, I know who shot your brother. And then I just looked at him and I went like, nah, I gaat no rehearsals toe. Ran up like a lot of money, like I think past $250,000 or something. In debt, only on the rent. So we were close to 300,000, I think, yeah. And I've experienced that, where we hit the $500,000 in a... Ek as die gaan hulle moeg gesê, maar we gaan sien dan, maar jy mal. Maar jy is met my vrou, man. And that was so bad that I went, overlap ek soms aan mekaar. So dat jy nie weet, ja, nee. Mitchell's Playing the musical will be that musical.
Welcome to the Securityguy'd Podcast. I'm your host, Faseef Piekaan, and today we have a special guest in the house, Faseef Piekaan. How's it going, man?
It's working. I'm fasting.
Are you
So I'm a
fasting?
bitchy, you know, die mekaar, but I'm here.
Alhamdulillah, man. No, it's good to have you in the house, you and your wife. You know, next time maybe we can have her also on, but yeah.
I said, when I order up a dick now, it's Ramadan.
Yeah, it's
It's
Ramadan.
now
Yeah.
they put us, what's the podcast? And then they break their fast. You can't trust that. We keep it covered for now.
No problem. So take us back to the beginning. Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Yeah, I grew up in Mitchell's Plain. My childhood was
What part of Mitchell's Plain?
East Streets in Mitchell's Plain.
Yo, that must be sister.
My oma grootsie, she was a human being washing machine. My great grandmother.
Sure.
Yeah, she used to wash human beings for a living.
Wash human beings.
Yeah, she was a tukamani.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, she used to wash them
Wash
and,
them, yes,
and sometimes break them. And you know,
Interesting, eh?
tukamani. She was a tukamani. She lived in Manenberg. And I remember when I was small, you know, when there wasn't much money around, you know, my grandmother was to get up in the middle of the night and just go like to call for Nigel. We don't need Nigel anymore. He needs to go like that.
Okay.
And then we get slavats, you know, slavats, sadaka, zakas. We get all that sadakas in of they go.
So,
At the janaza.
so in school, what type of boy were you? Were you quiet, outspoken, troublemaker, leader? A little bit of all, huh?
I was very short. I remember. I still am. When I was on Krish, on Krish, right? I was typecasted into my first leading character, and I didn't know why. I thought it was because ik het die hardste gepraat in die klas. Like, you know, when they do speech and drama in school,
Yes.
they always say speak out. And the children that speak the loudest, they always get the leading characters, and the rest are all trees and
Yes. So you're
stones.
outspoken.
No, but then I thought it's because of that. But I only saw afterwards when I came on stage, when they sang the first song, that they actually typecasted me into that role. Because they sang, Zacchaeus was a kleine man. Zacchaeus was a kleine man.
Nice.
Zacchaeus was a kleine man. That's Zachariah.
Was it that
He
time
was
ago you were
That was, I was 5 years old. I was typecasted into
Sure.
being Zachariah, the small guys in the play.
Yo, so
Yeah.
you were already in drama from the word go. You like
I was
the
since
stage.
5 years old, yeah. I loved it so much. I just wanted to be on stage. I wanted to go up there. And I liked the fact, the first time that I went to watch a show, I think it was a Kinders Fantasy show or something. I think I went to watch that. And the way that it was at the Lakshorama Theatre in Wynberg. That place doesn't exist anymore. Now, this is part van history. And I went to go and watch the show there. And I was like, look at how this people is laughing for this Mensa on the stage.
Sure.
That is some powerful gift to be able to make 1,000 people laugh at the same time. And this whole cast on stage is doing it for like 2 hours with the interval.
Sure. That comedian thing it's amazing. I would have
And
liked
that wasn't necessarily comedian, which it would have led to becoming a comedian, but it was more like a showman where they're acting characters.
Okay, yes.
And Limachi and Timachi and so.
Yes.
That thing. And it was amazing. People used to laugh them sick for that. And then I thought, if I must ever get a chance to do that, I will do that. I don't know if I can, but if that should be a superpower that you could ask for,
Okay.
I would want to do that, yeah.
And so then you basically worked yourself towards
Yeah, because the people love that people, my bro. They love them. Just,
the energy that they gave off and everything.
yeah. And I thought I wanted that love also for myself.
Okay, so take a, so I just want to give a people a little bit early background of who you were and how you actually got into the whole social and so
Uh,
so
yeah.
how so build us up from there.
Came at school. Sub A. Sub A. That time it was a sub A.
Yeah, now it's grade one. Our
Yeah.
children won't
Yeah.
know that now. They only know.
Yeah, the weet van sub A. So I was in sub A. There, I was a top student in sub A. I was like, I came first in class.
Wow,
Yeah. And I maintained
nice.
it through sub B. I was like first in class. But I always had this thing for wanting to be in the school plays.
What school you went to?
Eastville Primary.
Peaceful.
First one to ask me that question. Ever. They never asked me what primary school I went to. Eastville Primary here in Eastridge.
Okay. And
Katdoring at the back.
yes, Sano Kadrong.
Yeah. At there used to be a garage. There's no longer a garage. The Owens just decided one day, just me a garage. They stripped that whole garage and like a class flat now. It's like, it was a.
Welcome to Mitchell's Plain. Huh? So
Nah, I know.
it's that's the way of the how it goes
I
down.
nearly
Yeah.
got lost when I came back. I was like, I'm in here, drive, man. Waar is die garage? I'm like, waar is die garage? You see me a garage. It was straight opposite the mosque. Like, follow the mosque. Safer a die away. Gaan we niet aan.
Okay, okay. So you went there and in high school?
High school, I went to Spine Road High School.
Spine
It was
Road.
kind of like a natural thing in my family. You go from Eastville, you go to Spine Road High School. Spine Road had a good reputation also at that time because Mr. Najjar was there. He was one of, I think he was one of the biggest leaders in the educational field as a principal. I mean, he built that whole hall there. That time, no one really had halls. It was unheard of that we could have a multi-purpose hall inside of Mitchell's Plain.
And still
That's his legacy.
and you were doing entertainment still from
I was the drama teacher.
you were the
I was
drum-
there was a drama class. I was also an activist at the time. But I was a stoute activist, man.
Is it?
You know, like political. When I came on Spine Road, the thing that I went into first was the RCL.
And then how did you it's just thinking in my mind, you stayed in Eastridge. How did you navigate through it's a simple thing, the drugs and the gangsterism that so much of our kids are getting involved in.
It was the arts. Um, I think there is a big chance, and people will laugh. A lot of people who know me now, they probably will laugh at me. I think I'm making a joke or something if I say there was a very big chance I could have become a gangster. It was big. At the age of 11, I decided. I think.
Did you get
10
approached?
Did I get approached?
Because I don't know how does it work? Like if you like
My brother was a gangster.
so so what does somebody just like knock on your door and says like, listen, you guy, do you want to join the team or how does it-
Look, my brother was a gangster. I was a Dixie boy. And
Oh, okay, no, I know it doesn't work like I'm just
nah, it doesn't look like that. So, wow, I got approached. I don't think I got approached in the sense of where they asked me, like, please, do you want to be a gangster? Whatever. Like, how must I say?
here's the a form you need to fill out.
Yeah. I'm like,
And we're gonna send you a
for
club
me,
card.
for me, because in our area, the first time that I did that play, the one that
Yeah.
I spoke about, that was the main crash in the area.
Yeah.
So if you became a gangster, they come sass you there by the crash or so already when it's a concert. But because I was like the star of that show, and I remember being the star because when I came home, everybody was still talking about me. Then when I went to Eastville, I came first in class. It was a big deal in the community because we always had the prize givings at the end. I go, almal nou weer kyk wie het eerste gekom en wie tweede gekom in die klas. So I was again, after being on Krish, I was in front. Then in grade three, we had like a acting thing, and I acted in front of the school again. And this is early day gangsterism. My brother, they were still gangsters. They were still Dixie boys. And then, and Americans at the back. So they always saw me on stage, man. Because the future gangsters was obviously sitting on school. They were there. I saw them afterwards. I said, they were gangster. I said, no gangster. It's a gangster.
While they're on school, they're gangsters.
Yeah. So for me, it was, I didn't find that interesting.
And what's your interaction with him? They normal with you.
Yeah, because I was to be friends with some of them. I was allemaal saam groot geword. Like you're saying, it was normal. But the difference was, my choices was different. When I got an opportunity, a guy came to me after my brother got shot. He came to me and he said, Peggy, listen, Sifi, I know who shot your brother. And I will take you till the end. Basically, most now then I could have an opportunity to kill this bra. Not in so many words, but that's most how that plays out. Where he goes like, "I've no shot your brother, blah blah blah." And then I just looked at him and I went like, "Nah, hij gaat naar rehearsals toe." Say, "Mal, wat gaat ik nou? Wie wil ik aan nou shock? I've got nothing to do with this." Inalilay, Rosie un. We move, and then I went to rehearsals. So I think that
What age were you at that?
I think I was about 11, 10, 11. Yeah,
And your brother, how old was he?
my brother died at 18.
18. Okay, so he was a bit older.
Yeah,
All right, so,
So-
you were living in a house with
my
obviously,
brother.
yes.
He decided, he was he was also like a smart guy, man. When stuff became a bit hectic on his side, like the gangsterism, and they were starting to hunt him down, or like they wanted to get him, then he decided to move out from our house. So he went to go live there by the leader's house, yeah.
Yes, okay.
And that's where they shot him, in front of the leader's house they call it the Dixieland. In
Okay.
Tafelsig, ja.
Oh, Stafelse.
Is it East Street, Tafelsig? Ek weet nie wat is daai nie. Dixieland agter Spine Road. East Street, ja.
You saw that killing that they killed that Molana. So sad, man. Now I was like, I was like shocked, when I actually saw it, like, that's like, it's like in your face. You can't get away from it, and it's you think that you're a religious person, whatever. These people, they don't care. I can't get over that, man. It's like a sad, man. Like it really knocked me, that one over there. Like
The thing is, within our communities, and this for me,
because
that's what my kids, let me just take
Yeah.
me to my kids quick, right? So I have an elder son and I have a baby, right? So then I said to my wife one day, I wonder, who does my elder son fear or respect maybe a bit more than he would respect me being his father? And then I remembered, because I was thinking about something that's inside of, I don't know if it's inside of you, because a certain generation probably has that.
we're the same age.
Like, yeah, so where you see your daddy, and you're supposed to, like, when your daddy says, I'm gonna give you a hiding, then you go like, oh, my daddy's gonna give me a hiding.
Yeah.
But if your daddy tell you, yeah, I'm gonna phone Mufti Mink now to come speak to you because you don't want to listen, then you have that extra bit of, shit, Mufti Mink is coming here.
Yeah.
Because he's a spiritual guy. He's like either he's your mu'alim, or he's
Yes, yes,
or he's
yes.
the leader of the masjid
Or the
where you
imam
attend. He's
or
the imam,
somebody-
and you went there, Muslim school, and you all used to
Yes.
scared of him, but you also respected him. Not the same respect you have for your parents.
Yes.
His respect is more because he gave you your deen, or he was the leader that the mu'alima or the mu'alim used to look up to. So I said to my wife, yeah, we need to get so bra for our son, for our elder son. Because sometimes I want to be, as a father, I want to be able to call someone and go like, this is the guy that's going to get you. You know, when like fights it, and it's in every
But
family,
the thing is,
there'll be a fight and then they'll say,
Wasif, I hear you, but I think we're living in a different area now.
But I know,
our
but
kids don't fear us.
let me just finish this
Yes.
for the Maulana sake.
Oh,
Because that's how I feel about this Maulana. It's not like you just go and shoot a Maulana, bruh. Jy's a Muslim. En sy weet hy man is 'n Maulana. En sy gaan skiet vir hom. Where is your iman?
mm.
That's the question that's there for me. Because if he had that iman still and he thought, yeah, I'm gonna go shoot this bra. So right. But if I say, I'm gonna go shoot this Maulana, that's a different thing.
and the
That's
guy
a
was
different thing.
and the guy was reading Tarawih. He came from mosque.
Nah, but you see, that's where
No,
the
that's
world,
where
the world that's just taken
it
that
shifted.
shift.
That's what I'm
that
saying. Like
shift.
it's I'm saying.
And
like
he won't
this-
be our age, no. The brother that shot him. He's
Mm-mm.
not from our age.
No, will never be.
Ek
That's
dink ons ouderdom is nog die laaste wat nog daai 'n bietjie
that common sense, common Kurt, like there's red lines you don't cross. There's certain things that you just don't cross.
yeah,
But like now, it's crazy that what's coming out.
it's crazy. Man.
But okay, so growing up, who was your biggest influence to your biggest influence in your life growing up?
ja.
These
What
are
a
deep,
question.
these are deep questions, my
You
man.
was my big.
He
was my biggest.
Nigel is giving us good background and early life because, Wasif, generally the people that do come on the show, I do know them a bit, But I
It's
mean,
fine.
you know what? I say, I need to understand who the guest is. And you know what? I already feel like I know you
No?
for a long time already.
Yeah.
We're vibing already. Yeah.
Now it's just 80s babies, man.
Yes, yes,
Look,
yes.
this is the thing. It's not
Oh, who also you can just say different things. Also, like not only one person, maybe an institution, or maybe you went to
yeah, let's say Kenneth Van Sis was my biggest influence. Let's not say a
Yes,
specific
yes,
individual or
yes.
two. The Kenneth Van Sis drama group that's also from Mitchell's Plain. Do you know Kenneth Van Sis?
A little bit about it, but just for the audience, give us a bit of a background of.
Kenneth Van Sis was TikTok um in the 80s, 90s. No?
So how did they used to consume it on TV?
You had to go and watch them live, and then you got at that time they used to come out and film it, and then they still shot it to the cassettes,
Yes.
and then you had to find someone that could purchase you a cassette, no? And you had to have a tape recorder, and you could watch
Yo,
it
the
like that.
VCR's.
The
Yo,
VCR, ja.
yo.
Het is aan
Old
zit je
school.
daar en dan gaan het zo in en dan
Now our kids won't know what's a VCR. Eh?
yeah, the VCR, and then you play it
The
and on your
CD
blue punk
players.
TV.
Do,
No,
you, do you remember the Walkmans?
no, it's the blue punk TV. Blue punk TV.
Do you remember that Walkmans that used to play?
I don't know why every time somebody tells me about a Walkman, I get this weird feeling that my sister had a Walkman, but I think they never ever bought me a Walkman.
Oh, so you never.
It's like only one of us at the time could have a thing.
Is it?
So-
Yeah, no,
yeah, but
the-
I remember the Walkmans.
yeah, the Walkmans. That was if you had one of those, you were super cool, my man. Yo.
Nah, I didn't. That wasn't cool.
Yeah.
I was singing and stuff, man. But okay, they used to shoot it to the phone, to the cassettes, and most of the time people would go out and watch them. That's why live theater was big at that stage, no? I mean, at that time, that just before Kinders van die Ses hit that big, District 6 the musical,
So how many people used to come at the time just to watch the show?
District 6 the musical was sold out in the Baxter for 3 years when it opened, after it opened. So you can tell that's a 650, still a 650 seater over 3 years. So
Sure.
if you didn't book this year, you didn't get a ticket for this year, you could only book it in 3 years' time.
And
That's how
how-
big District 6 was.
How much times you do the show a week?
But that was Tali Peterson name. And then I was with Butamanchi and Kenneth van die Ses on this side. So he built his own little sort of Baxter theater within the Lakshorama. So we would be there in a 1,000-seater, like 20 shows a month. They at that time was like that kind of funny says, and they did all the community halls. The addendum would say, okay, you've got 30 shows a month. 30 a maand. Matinee and ding is because people, if they really wanted to enjoy themselves, they had to go out. And I think life wasn't as expensive at that time. The tickets were cheaper. Chips was cheaper. The petrol was cheaper. So the bus tickets were probably cheaper to get there. It was a culture to go and watch your people, man. People made a culture out of it. Ons moet die show gaan kyk. Ons moet die show gaan kyk. Ons moet die show kyk. Pang, pangalangalang, pang, 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 pangalangalang, rang, chang, 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 pangalangalang, rang, chang, 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 chang. My sari mare is so ver van my hart. Ek hoop om haar weer te sien. Sy het in die wijk van die mooie rivier gewoon, nog voor die oorlog begin.
Hey.
So bring my terug na die ou Transvaal, daar waar my sari woon. Daar onder in die milies by die wijk Doringboom, daar woon my sari mare. Prang, pang, 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 pang.
Nice, nice.
Pangalangalang,
nice.
pang, pang, pang. Rang, chang, 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 pang, pang. That's the sound that we were vibing to.
Nice, man. So
Mainstream
where
theater.
was your last show?
What was the last show? My last show. Antis van die Kaap.
Oh,
I
okay.
had two of my friends join me. Hakeem Roman and
And
Wayne McKay, two
where-
comedians.
Where'd you do it?
We were at Josephstone.
Joseph Stone.
You see, the problem is a friend of mine said to me, Wasif, you're positioning yourself wrong. So I kept on saying, I voel net soos ek werk so hard, but it kon nie, I'm just not getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're positioning you wrong. You must go and do these shows by the rechte venue. So he wants me to go to the Baxter, he wants me to go to the Artscape, and he feels like I'll get the support that
Mm.
that everyone else is getting. Because the show, like Aunties van die Cup, you didn't see it, but if it was at the Baxter, you might have gone to see it.
I'm
It's a
like,
comedy show,
oh, is
Aunties
it?
van die Cup.
Is
3
it?
comedians.
Okay, then maybe yeah.
But he goes to the full on straight comedy. Pung,
Yeah,
pung,
that's
pung, pung. It pushed him to that.
yes. That's the reminder of emo.
But I'm the Moppy King, not him. That's the only problem.
Did you
Yeah.
not?
No, he's an entertainer.
Okay, so
But I am
you don't
the
perform with him.
I'm the Moppy King. There's a difference.
Okay, yes. So don't you perform with him? So what's the difference for a layman? Like what does that mean? Like,
Look, I'm gonna be honest. He's exceptionally talented. He was one of. He's older than me, but I think like 9 years older than me. So he was at Curtis Funny Says when it started. He was in District System Musical. I was sort of the younger one. Just when they were gone, they moved out. Then I had to come in and just save everything there. I didn't know at the time I was saving it, but I kept it together there. And but we come from exactly the same background. The only difference is between me and him is he went to go position him in the white market for a while. He positioned him in the white market at the time, which obviously um, he did boerenmuziek. It cost him to change his inflections, his way of singing in when he would sing. Like as hy so gepraat het, kan hy nie so gesing het nie. Hy moes so gesing het, which is fine.
okay,
Because now he has another market. So I respect that hustle. I respect the fact that he made that compromise and he went to that market
okay.
because they buy CDs.
Maybe the thing is because they got more disposable income, the market that he's maybe playing in, and so they can afford to. Maybe our guys are more on a tighter budget, so it's just pure economics. You
Yeah.
understand? So if you want to go sell to richer people, so that's just ultimately how it.
I think that's all that was the difference.
That's all the difference.
That's the difference, yeah.
It's
That's
not
all
that the
difference.
show was
Better.
better or it had.
Or that he was more talented or anything.
Yeah,
the
it's
rest
it's
just
purely
went to a different
it
market.
just went to a different market, and that's just being smart about the situation. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that but you entertained your people.
I needed to find myself when it came to performance and theater. Ek wil nie net you at first it was confusing because you look in front of you. If you want to see what's gonna work, you look at what's in front of you. Who made it? Who's on top?
Mm-hmm.
So then I got trapped in a recipe of okay, this is probably what I need to do in order to get there. And then it became a point at the point where I needed to do needed to like look inside like see what am I really good at, man?
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually realized that I'm different from just jumping around with a band and that in this way, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's great. If you're able to do this, very few people that can do it. But I can do that as well. So I could be jumping around with a band now still and be making money. But then I discovered that I can write songs. Like that is actually my strength. I can write an entire production from scratch. I don't need to do cover versions and open a Nova Park like the other day I was in a Nova Park. I could sing my own songs in a Nova Park. When the generation before me comes to perform in a Nova Park, they sing Kamskawili, which is not necessarily an original song.
So
It's
where
an
does it come
old
from?
cultural hook. And then also they would sing maybe Kwando and those old songs, which also are Cape Town songs, Il Mondo and such songs, but it's not their own songs. So what my journey was is to write my own stuff. It's always important for me that this like we did an anti-bullying campaign right now.
Which we
We-
are going to talk about.
We needed to write an original song for this anti-bullying campaign. But we could have taken some song that was already there. But because it's Faseef Piekaan, people kind of expect hy het iets original geskrywe.
Mm.
I wrote my own moppie songs for the Kaapse Klopse since I was 18, 16 years old. 18 years old. Let's say 18. For a team from Nova Park also, Nova Superstars. So the difference between myself and that generation that was before me is that originality, man. To write an original play. Like if it's Security Guide, to write this manual a certain way. I wanna come in here and I wanna write my version of it in my words.
Mm.
And I think that's something that unless we do it, unless somebody steps up to the plate to do it, then we're just gonna be trapped in a cycle when it comes to music where we're singing other people's songs for the rest of our life.
And now with AI.
And that was the difference. Yeah, that was the
Nobody's
difference.
original now.
Now I'm still the
Still the OG.
trying.
Yeah,
I'm
Still
trying.
trying, huh?
The reason for that is if you look at the legacy of Tali Peterson and David Kramer, they were the ones who wrote the songs.
Mm.
They
Talented
wrote
guy, yeah.
they wrote an original musical about their people. They wrote original music about stuff that happened to the people.
Because they were in the struggle.
Exactly. So who's gonna if the ones who are ahead of us are not capturing anything, they're just singing covers for the rest of their life. And we also start following that trend of just singing covers. Then
Mm.
who's gonna write our stories?
Nobody. So you still going against the grain, which is
I'm
good.
going against the grain. It's hard, but like we're in Mitchell's Play now.
Yeah. So what you doing next year?
I'm writing Mitchell's Play in the musical. Because you see, like there's a journey for everything. Like District 6, I feel like it's had its time now, man.
So
It's klaar.
so unpack the Mitchell's
Ons
plane.
is moeg van die, man. As dieselfde sous. Verstaan? And there is a market for that. And it's an old market. You understand? It's like, it didn't tick over like where the youth is going like, I need to go see District 6. The youth is not doing that.
No, they're not.
Because now, but those people that's sitting there now watching District 6, they were youth. Hulle was young. But there was something for them to hold on to. Their generation gave them something to hold on to. So what my goal is in life, and I'm going to tell you, finance has played a big role in the fact that I haven't done it already now. Finance is the only thing that stopped me from doing it already, is that I feel if the arts is most that powerful tool, we should be able to give our youth that musical.
Mm.
What's the story that's going to draw them to the theaters? That's going to make them get into those buses again? Thousands of them, and not wait to only see it on TikTok. Do we have real stars that's been created for them? Because surely they don't want to, like if you now, even in your early 20s, you don't want to go watch somebody that's 50. Like, that's like going to watch your daddy. That's old. Understand? So we need to give them their heroes. Just like when Zane Adams and Tali Peterson them were young, they were the heroes that the girls wanted to go see and the young teachers wanted to go see. And the Laxarama Theater in Weinberg. Of in the Star Bioscope of in all those places. So yeah, hopefully Mitchell's Playing the musical will be that musical.
So you
And
done with
hopefully
it?
nobody tries to keep them for parag and try and make it, because it's something that I'm really passionate about. So I'm just putting that out there. You can put that in the show.
No, it's fine. So but when will it be out?
You see, when you launch stuff, then
Yes.
other people that has a friend, someone said, when money and resources meet each other, you can make something amazing, right?
Mhm.
So some people, they have the access to the monies, but they don't have the resources,
Or
and
the
now
talent.
or the talent or the ability, yes, and then they say, but I'm just gonna make it this way anyway. Fuck manita. I think it's so say, as if you're watching, you're gonna watch this podcast and you hear this part, moenie veel gefriet hou nie, nou net veel rustig, because this musical is it's my baby. I'm gonna do it. It's registered on my name now, yeah. So a friend of mine, we're gonna maybe partner on it, inshallah. So just for creativity, but you can come to the podcast in his own time, to the Security Guide podcast in his own time and speak about it. I'm excited to be partnering with him if he's gonna see the journey through with us, inshallah. But it's something where you go like, I've been so patient, man. And I know we were expecting to have like a fun podcast or whatever, but I've been so patient in the line. Like, if you look at comedians in Cape Town, I won a Best Actor award for playing 11 people in an hour show. So I become 11 different characters.
Sure.
My changeover time from one character to the next, Peter Dirk Uys was doing 11 seconds to get out of the one character into the next. I was doing 3. I pushed the barrier. I said, look here, can I change from ek as die as hulle moeg as maar we gaan sien dan nee, maar jy mal. Ja, maar je is met mijn vrouw, man. En dat was so bad that I went, overlap ik soms aan elkaar. Zodat je niet weet, ja, nee. So that I'm having a conversation with 11 people at the same time.
Wow, that's talented, eh?
They gave me a best actor for this thing. I didn't understand why. But now that I'm older, I'm actually looking back at myself and I'm going like, but Jay was kwaai. Jay was actually good. It's hard work to do that. How did I?
So can you do a small
Like now I got a pile. So it's more.
do a small demonstration, a small act for us for like 2 people or 3 people.
Nee, ik is niet hier. Ik ben die wise guy. Maar is niet daar. Maar is ik hier op Securityguy'd. God dear. Kom, haal me ergens in de middelsplein. Francina, waar is dat niet? Jij kan niet daar in de middelsplein rondlopen. Waar is jij vrouw? Daar en hij promenade daar zijn poela. Zo. Jij verdrinkt niet, maar je weet ik kan niet zwemmen. Yes. Je bedoelt. I don't want to know anybody's gonna see me here. My name is Danfred. I'm here in the wise guy studio guy.
Oh my God.
Shut the door, guy. Je gaat naar die Danfred als je bedoelt. Die kan misschien staan aan gaan hier in mijn studio niet. Nigel is also right nog hier. Is also right. Huh? Ja, nee, alles is alright. Je zegt, China, je hoeft te worry, Nicole. At the mampie is here, we have no fear. I'm here, the security guy. Dan gaan we hier in de auto met tot die mampie. Kijk eens, is het over poker time now? What did you make some faluda? Huh? Do you, tell me something. Do you pee pink if you drink faluda?
Oh my word, yo. No, you must do another one. We must do a live one. Eh? I think we should do a live. That's why I say, like, you know, how so you do this normally on lives, eh?
No, I did this in the theater, in the backstore. But I brought my characters to the live.
Okay.
So then when we won the TikTok ranking, people didn't understand why we won it. They thought I just came here to TikTok. Some of them would have 500 people on the live at the time. At that time, we started with 60, 70 people on the live. In fact, my first big gift I got when I had 14 people on the live. So they were thinking, how did this small, because we were small account.
When did you start? With your TikToks?
I had Faseef Piekaan on Facebook. I had Francina. I had Mariam Kerry. All were pages on Facebook. And then I told myself, when we came to TikTok, because she didn't really, she wasn't into making videos, but she was into making this TikTok stuff. So I said, okay, if I'm gonna do TikTok, because she had to beg me to do TikTok. I didn't want to, and you forget how you begged me. I beg. You had to beg me. Because she was only, you're just a normal person in TikTok, and then you're a creator.
Yes.
They shift you to creator mode. So she was just a normal, just flying there in TikTok somewhere. And then she said, can we do TikTok, please? I want to.
Was this in the COVID period when everyone was bored sitting at home?
Yeah.
And that's the time you guys started.
Yeah. And then I did it with her, and then one TikTok later, after I joined her, she went to.
Did you know that you could
creator mode?
That time was also paying the people back then when you were going live. When was the monetizing coming in? When did you realize?
Tell him to ask the question, then I can say it.
No, I'm saying, when did you realize that you can make a living on TikTok?
I don't know how. I'm gonna tell the story the way that I tell it every time. It's a bit long, and not everybody sees it, but I'm gonna say it the way that it is. It was COVID 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We hit the most difficult period in our life, like financially, because I couldn't work. We were doing Facebook lives, and I also wasn't prepared. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't prepared for COVID. I wasn't. People were supporting me. My shows was doing well before COVID, but I just wasn't ready for it. It caught me off guard. When everything, I think it caught a lot of people off guard.
All of us off guard, yeah.
And
it made us stronger.
It made us stronger, yeah. So then I sort of lost your
bearings, what you're gonna do.
My bearings, yeah, like. But I was ahead of everyone when it came to that. I went because I was already on social media before most of the artists was on social media. I was on Facebook. So when that happened, I just went in there and I said, okay, guys, I'm gonna do a show for you online. You can give me whatever you want to in my Capitec account, whatever the case may be. And they supported me.
Is it?
People supported, but not big, man. Big enough to sustain your rent, to sustain whatever else.
Mm.
And then that ran up like it's a lot of money. Like I think past $250,000 or something like that. In debt. Only on the rent. So we were close to 300,000, I think, yeah. And then for me, that was like a moose of weight on top of me. And I don't know how I was going to get out of it. And I remember both of us making like dua. And this one Ramadan was like heavy. Because now it's with kids also now. We're still in COVID. Can't get out of it. No money. Maak ons dua, ons maak salah, ons puasa, ons maak salah. And I remember my dua. I shared it with her. It's you ask Allah to send you people that, because at that point in that COVID, it felt like nobody wanted to help us. And I say this with all due respect, no one wanted to help us. Um, and then you realize that you only have Allah. You only have God, and it brings you back. He's the last. If Allah now don't help us now, then we klaar. Reg? And I made this a line, and my head fell into a position called skiefgedraai. And I was just lying like this in the musla. And I couldn't get out of it for like 5 minutes in sujood. And then I believe it was that thing, because my dua, what I made was like, Allah send me people that I don't know, man. And send a lot of them. Don't need to be that they come here with that they come here with 100,000. Even if it's just a sticky brood, to be okay. And and then we went live on TikTok. And then we got a rose. And then I saw that the rose is worth 0.02. And then I said to her, "Nice girl." And she was still there with Alan the car guard. They were just talking there, not taking much note of me and my 2 cents. And then we kept duck and we met this guy, Somalian guy, no? What's his name? On the live. Umar. On the lives. He's a content creator. And then he showed me, basically, he played the game with me. And then we started making like 100 Rand, 200 Rand, 500 Rand. And we were like, yay, this is money. We owe we were half a billion in debt. But we have 100 Rand.
Yo.
It was a big deal.
Yo.
It was a big deal. I made it without having to say, I'm going to do a show now. You can send it into my account. I was live and the money came straight through the app to me. And I thought, this is Shukr Allah now, starting with this dua that I made that time. And up until today, I shukr Allah for that. Because we met so much amazing people who don't want to be mentioned. Like I always say, we were blessed when it started with the biggest gifters in this app, who had all had the best of hearts, who came there and they threw us literally out of that debt. Passed it so fast that we couldn't even believe it. We're like, oh, there she's done. And he's done as well. So
Subhanallah,
that,
mashallah, that's
and
very good.
I believe that was Allah. Allah, because people,
Powers of du'as, guys.
I believe that Allah has control of everybody, of all of our minds, of your finger.
100%.
And one of my favorite stuff to say to Allah is like, if you don't want me to be able to turn my head to that side now, then I will never be able to turn my head to that side. And it's such a simple thing just to look to that side. I believe that. So when it comes to gifting somebody, you're sitting there with your phone, and you said it, I think, before the podcast. You said, what are these Owens really doing on the lives?
How should I know?
What are they really doing? So now you come in as a gifter. Now you look at this person. You're thinking, what's I know? Somebody had to tell you to throw. I mean, if you're going to throw someone 100,000 Rand from where you're sitting in your house, you're going to throw 100,000 Rand. Somebody had to send you there. That's some spiritual thing happening there. People say, no, you can't say that. No, you can. Because distribution of rizq, Allah says, the rizq will even reach, like, it will feed you like a bird. I feed everything on this dunya. Now, how did that rice korreltjie get exactly there? That lady knew to throw that rice out. That bird is going to eat it. So the same with it.
It's having complete conviction in your creator. It's called tawakkul.
Tawakkul.
Yes, that's what it is. It's we obviously as Muslims and believers. That's obviously I know that, and anybody knows that. But you have to do the effort.
You have to do the effort.
You have to go live and
you have to sit there and you have to entertain that people.
And then you can get.
We were very entertaining.
Style your camel.
Yeah, we tied our camel and we went in hard. And you know what? It's such a complex game, no? That some people actually made money because of my face. Not because I was not because of them being good at all. They were maybe just like horrible at going live. Like you could be with me on a live. But because I won, no, I now had hate from people that I beat. So then the gifters will be on your side. But you're not very entertaining, bruh. Then you'll start making money because you're playing against me.
Oh, is it? That's how it works.
Yes. That's another way how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
One
just
guy
see-
actually made 40,000 rand 1 week, and he hates me. He's a pure out hater. As a Muslim content creator also for a Muslim or something. He will never like me. I don't know what I ever did to this guy. He just refuses to have a liking in me, even after I let him use my face for a whole month to get people to throw him gifts because he didn't have money at that time. So I went into his chat and I said to him, dude, I'm gonna help you. Okay. I'll go live with you this week. You can make some money. It's okay. Hulle kan teen my gooi. They can hate me and you'll
But
be.
that's part of the game, Faseef. It's hate and jealousy and hasadheid. It's
Wat se wanneer laas ek hy word gehoor gasat. Sê jy, jy gasat? Hæ? Het jy gasat? Jy kom gasat nou jy meisie. Ek terug man. Wat jy gasat? Jy by sê man, jy kom sê ek gasat nou nie. Yo, that's a nice. Yo, sama.
yeah. So it's normal.
En die laaste gasat gehoor. So man.
It's real. It's the evil eye is real. And you know what? You-
Imagine you see somebody making 500,000 rand sitting there in a week.
Sure.
In a week. Like, I mean, if you have money, people will have money. When they see that, they go like, I also made it in a week. It's okay, man. But still, you're gonna think, what that's gonna do to have that money? And I've experienced that where we hit 500,000 in a week,
Sure.
and then the might and hatred of that type of people that I just spoke about, they come after you like this, like, because why? They want that money.
Okay.
And if I had my
Can they
way,
see how much money you make?
yeah, because they can see at the end, if you win, you lay number 1 in the ranking. So they can see what Piekaan now have 4 million diamonds.
Oh, so you can calculate it.
Last week he made 2
Oh.
million diamonds. So he's got 6 million diamonds. This brother's got over 500,000. Why does he get it every time? Why is people like, ooh, why must he get it?
Oh, but that's normal. Okay, that's that.
I know it's like that, but I'm just asking you the
No,
sense
no,
of,
no, but that's
It's
okay, so-
hatred,
yeah,
man.
that is hatred. No, but that
I
is-
wish I could have hit that away, man. In a way where they didn't see. But then they can't win. If you hide it, you can't win.
No, exactly. Like us as business people, we can conceal what we're making. That's the beauty part of it. About it, nobody will know. You can assume and whatever. It's either way off or way up or way down. So that's the beauty.
That's
of
the
it, right?
beauty of it.
The
yeah.
only way you'll be able to really see is when you start flossing and you're starting to buy stuff and you want to be loud and people start to see a
Yeah.
little bit.
No,
But, that,
I would never buy.
but that's still not gonna train you really well.
I would never, because
If anybody's watching this, guys, please
do not
do not do that.
do not show them.
Yes, please. Because the thing is,
Evil eye.
yes,
It's the evil eye.
yeah,
Zoom
no,
in bijna.
it's yeah. I hope people don't have any evil eyes here, but I'm just saying that we do read out to us, and
Yeah,
you
we
know what
do
we
read
have-
out to us, but
Yeah.
it's bad, my brother. I promise you, the evil.
You know what it is. Guys, let me. You guys are listening here. What it is, and this is a more simplified app the way it is. Besides that, over there in a more simplified way is that when people see other people doing good, it's a reflection that they have settled in life. And when somebody is settling, they meaning that it's almost I look at it as a mountain. Somebody's climbing this mountain. When you are on top of the mountain, you seeing or you're on the journey of this mountain, and then what people want to do is they lazy, they don't want to put the work in, they want to complain, and then they want to say, no, this person, he's selling drugs, he's doing this, bring him down, break his building down, and bring us down here, because by him being up there, it meaning saying that I settled.
Yeah.
So when I settled and I didn't climb that mountain, when you coming around, I need to show you that you actually not on that mountain, you actually down here, and you're actually lower than me.
Yeah, that is exactly the attitude of said person and other persons inside of the app, the TikTok app. Lady threw us 500,000. We don't know why. She liked my face, or she liked my nose, or something about me. Maybe I made her laugh. Whatever the reason was, gave none of you other content creators the reason to be nasty and rude because they were now just like they were literally trying to find stuff that was so horrible about me, and they know very little about me now, to break me down and to get me down here.
Mm.
So when I sometimes don't understand why people say Faseef Piekaan is a content creator, because I am an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a music person. That's why
You
I'm
just
a
use the
carpenter.
platform to.
Yeah, but I actually, when I speak sometimes like this, and then I realize, I've been in the beefs also. So probably I am a content creator also. I've beefed with a few of them, and
No.
I haven't lost it, no.
But the beef is
A
actually
beef. I
what.
haven't lost a beef.
But I
Did I
mean,
lose a beef?
but
I
the
haven't
beef
lost a
is
beef.
actually what makes you money, right? That's what the people want.
No, we don't do beef. People,
You know, like some of the content creators, we don't mention
they
names.
believe.
Some of our colored content
The
creators.
colored content creators believe they have to beef to make money, but that's why they hate me, because I won the TikTok ranking without beefing.
So you don't stitch another guy's
No.
thing and then you start beefing.
I would
him.
never just stitch. If I'm gonna stitch you, you need to have more followers than me. You need to have 1,000,000. I wouldn't even stitch you. Have 600. If you have 600K, I wouldn't stitch you. You must have 1,000,000, 1.5 and up, and I must have my
if
followers that I
somebody's-
have now.
If somebody's talking to you at the smack about you, not gonna.
But I said my master P. I didn't respond to him. Did I respond to him? I didn't respond to him because I was higher than him. Yes, I was. Like, I knew the position. If I'm gonna respond to him, he's gonna shoot.
Yes, he's looking for
He's
ammunition.
gonna shoot. And he was baiting me. You understand?
Yeah,
He was
people like to
baiting
bait.
me. But I was not. If I was gonna fall for that bait, then I would have had to say to myself, Faseef, you actually proved that, but I'm smarter than you now.
Exactly.
You know, I stitched a other friend of mine years ago. I can't also say, don't say his name, but I stitched him once. He never responded to me. I finished him. After I was done with him, he was done. He was done.
Oh, so you had your fair share of beef.
You see, that's not me. They will start with me. But inside what I didn't like is inside the TikTok game, when it came to that money stuff, that hate was uncalled for.
But
I feel like it was
no,
uncalled for
it's
towards me.
no.
It was disrespectful
No,
to
no,
my family also.
I understand, Faseef, but the thing is,
Hoe
success,
kry die hoogste
still,
my-
success brings hate.
Yeah.
Accept it. You can't have the one without the other. It has to go. It goes together. So
Yeah.
you need to understand that you can't have. It's like, if you're gonna get that, you are gonna have to get it, and you have to deal with it.
I
It's,
dealt with it.
it's a normal thing, and they say if you're not really, if you have some ambition and you want to grow and you want to be influencer, and you're gonna expect people that's not gonna like that. Your ambition just
I think the idea of an influencer differs for everybody. I think I don't necessarily want to have the power to tell people like you wear this or buy this, but I do also at times. Like, I can also sell like a hairdresser. My wife can now do. She did a thing with this one thing, and the people sold them moves a lot of that stuff. At times we can, man.
tell us a bit about this bullying campaign that you're having, because for us, bullying is unacceptable. It's a security threat. It's something that. So paint us a bit of a picture. Yes, and it's also a big thing, like, there's bullying in schools, auctioning kids there at Pinelands High. It's just not cool.
Auctioning kids at Finance Eye.
Yeah,
Did
didn't
they
hear
send
about
us
that.
that one?
Did you guys not hear about that?
No.
It happened about 2 years ago.
Oh.
They had like some sort of thing at Pinelands High, and then this was like few colored guys, and then they had like this African guy, and then they put him in a cage, and it was out in the paper, and then one of the guys was rugby, one of the A team rugby and whatever, so they didn't really say much about him and whatever, but yeah, it was.
I think it's like when, like, as you getting older, man, as one gets older,
Mm-hmm.
I think your concerns change, man. The stuff that bothers you change. The stuff that affects you change.
It's called maturing.
Yeah. It's quite nogal.
It is quite definitely.
It's quite nogal.
I mean, if you look like in the 20s, like 2 years, in the 1990s, in the change of the millennial, I mean, what we were thinking and doing to what we're doing now, it's completely
I swear,
different.
there was a time where, when I was done with school, I was always a team player, man. There was a period that I had to go alone because I started losing trust in people. I got so much disappointments with different people. promises from different people. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. So now, then I went on my own, and I was alone. I was Faseef Piekaan, and that became also again boring. Not boring to the people, but boring for me because I like to work.
With people.
Yeah, with a lot of people. I like to have other parties. I go, hoe voel jy oor die wat ons gaan doen?
Mm.
You understand?
It's the
So
energy. It's it rubs off on you. Did they say you?
imagine.
They say
working-
you they say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, which makes even in Islamic it's like that
Yeah.
because the people's mentality that you are around
Yeah.
will rub off on you.
Yeah.
Because if they have good qualities, they have good habits and things like that, it will rub off on you. And if you're ever around bad people that swear, smoke, do all the wrong things,
Yeah.
complain, gossip, backbiting, it's just negative, channel negative. I can't be around people like that.
But with a podcast, you're gonna have to think us a bit of um a bit of backbiting. I thought backbiting was it's like because there's sometimes people feel within a podcast
Yeah.
it's their moment to share
No, you're right.
with
but
everybody. You understand? That's what I think that's just like a public announcement.
it's a public
So
announcement.
we're
Yeah,
just
I know
gonna have to-
you have to get used to it. But my thing is if it's for a certain thing to educate certain thing, but just for no reason, just talking for
Yeah.
smack
Yeah,
about
I know.
somebody. He's thinking this and whatever. No, I wouldn't say that. Well, if you want to talk about what's happening in the news,
Yeah.
it's fine. I mean, I wouldn't say that's backbiting. It's
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to say Kat Matlada, you stole a lot of money from Tembisa Hospital. I don't know if that's backbiting or not.
Nah, I don't say Cat McLaren all that.
You know what I'm saying?
So
So I'm saying like things like that. We understand, but I mean, like now just talking about what certain people did in there. They were being promiscuous and things like that, marital affairs, and I don't know. I don't know about that stuff.
yeah.
But that's not.
deep. We don't have to go so deep as that.
Yeah, because that's not national news.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you're gonna now name and expose somebody now that is a
Which is not worth it. Yeah.
yeah, and you
And
talk
it's gonna
about
take you to Jahannam.
yes, and about his skeletons in his closet. Yeah, that
Drop the
bra's
girls off somewhere.
that bra in the puasa, what is he doing?
Yeah.
I saw him
So-
eating there at the thing.
So that was when was coming back to the bullying thing.
Yes.
Like the priority was at that time when I was alone. Then you only have to think about yourself. You only think about what is best for you. So now when you get to become a parent and you
Do you know what word they call it now when you think about yourself all the time?
what do they call it?
Narcissist.
Ah!
That's like the new word out now. Yo, you're a narcissist.
That's a line. That's a line in the play, no? We even put that into this play. Like,
In certain scenarios, you need to think of yourself.
yeah, like just no, like this podcast situation, I could be exactly like everybody, like the narcissist that spoke about me or that speaks about me. I could be like them, the real narcissist. I could be that way. But then, my wife said to me, just be a bit humble. You don't always have to fight back. Just come down and nothing is gonna go off from you. And I kind of learned that, Nigel. Daar gaan niks van jou af nie, om net weg te loop nie. Verstaan? Maar jou vrou might anxiety kry of anxiety kry as sy in die fight gaan. If me and you now go into an intense fight, she might start getting anxiety.
Mm.
Nou wen jy die fight, maar sy wen it because sy kry anxiety. Sy wen it because
Mm.
you are winning the debate. Understand? That happened also. So, but I get the narcissist thing. I actually just wanted to say that I was very alone, doing alone shows. Sy was saam met my. She's the one who said, go to the Baxter, go do your show there, go do it alone. Motivated me to do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now. Because my wife, she must motivate me also.
Yes.
But now with the bullying thing is also her concept. It's my wife's concept. So she's like, she wants to do something for bullying after we saw the Milnerton thing.
oh yes, that Milnerton where they hit that.
Yeah, and look, at the same time, I don't want to be too harsh on that. Like this, the lighties that did the bullying there, because I always believe we should have some remorse towards the one that also caught on the nonsense, because we don't know what they're going through, why they did it or whatever, and there's a lot of unanswered questions there. So I don't want to blikkie te oopmaak weer nie, but it came from there, right? And then my son, the baby The big one was always fine on school, but the baby, he's a bitchy. He's more
Introvert.
no, he's more American, man.
Wow. American.
He's more like, I said, good morning, man.
It's got
I
the
don't want to
accent.
go to school. Like that. Why must I go? But why? But why must I go to school? He wouldn't survive. Yeah. En waar ik kan survive het bij is wel. Hij is al klaar. Let's al finish. You need a bit of a liquor
Yes.
feel on you. Like I was like, no, but why not? So when he came, it was at his school. I was a kid that, what did I do? Just took his lunch. Elke dag. I
Okay.
eat his say lunch.
The I'm finding now what's the passion. It's related to your own kid.
A kid, yeah. And that's
Okay.
why I want to follow it, and I get frustrated that we can't follow through at the moment. But we can go into that part now. No? We're just the kids. So then I went. They said the rule at that school is, this is a very good school. So the rule is, you can't, you're the parent. I don't know if it's by Amelie school or something. You can't go into the gate. You must just drop him at the gate. I'm on myself and look. So I can't go into the school to be a narcissist towards the kid, the other kid that is taking his food, because I needed to be a bit of a narcissist with that kid. Something inside of me was driving me.
How often does it happen?
No. That sounds like strike two.
Yeah.
I'm joking about becoming a narcissist. I just don't want to say I wanted to
No,
move the kid.
I'm
I
saying-
wanted to move the kid.
No, it's a normal reaction. You know what I mean? A father's protecting his flock. You know what I'm saying?
And
So-
I've got a story where this girl on Eastville Primary, years ago, she pushed a fellow student, and the girl's head knocked against the pole, and then she fell and she died.
wow. So
And then I went like, when I remember that story, then I go like, so she was bullying that girl because that girl was from Langa or one of that areas. They were coming
she
in.
pushed the girl and
She pushed the girl. The girl's head knocked against the thing, and she fell in the sluice. You know the sluice that we have there by the schools. When it rains down, dan kom jy weer af by die dak en dan kom dit daar uit. Then it has a little sluice.
yes.
No? And she laid in the sluice. She was dead. She died. So I always have that in my mind, man. That I could send my high school, if he's being bullied or being pushed around, they could push him, he could knock his head, and he can be laying dead. May Allah forbid and protect all of our children, right? But that's why I'm funny. When I heard about this, like eating his food, I went there and I said to the teacher, "Yay, praat saam met hom." And I went in. I must be honest. If this parent is going to see this, I went in there and I told the lady to stop. The way that the guy from Mitchell's Plain tell you to stop. I told him to stop. I made him understand you can't do that. And then I went home. And I drove past there every day and I just showed him like, I have to. And I feel like as a parent, you know, they can voel ek het die privacy van die kinders. It's not like that. Any parent would do that.
100%.
Any
My
parent
s-
would do
my
that.
son also
Hulle
got
wil net die
bullied.
bully nie.
Like after that thing also, it's crazy. Like, but he was more like mobbed by a few
Yo.
kids, and they kicked him in his private, and they kicked him on his head. But we had the school, and it was his friends. They were playing soccer, and then he
Yo.
lost the ball, and he fell, and then they just all kicked him for like 30 seconds. But they fine now, and they're friends. They even came to our house before that, but didn't come again. But it
I
was
wouldn't
just,
give them Faluda though.
could have been a lot worse. I mean, he cried. He said he cried, and you know what? I was very frustrated.
He cried at school.
Yeah, he cried.
And
every time.
that in itself is like, if you cry at school, my small one fell. No, now when a month ago, he came running out and he was bah, flat like this, bah, on his face. And then the lady came. The lady came out and said like, he's inside. He doesn't want to come out. He's there. He's not, but he's not crying. I'm like, what's this lady talking about? They found her, but I was already in the drive to fetch him. So they found home to say that he fell. And then when I came, he wasn't crying. So he's now already told himself, this one, moerse knop here by his head. I'm not going to cry in front of no one here in the school. So if and that's how kids, I think, generally feel on school. Like, I'm not going to cry at school.
Yeah, they
They're
don't.
gonna make fun of me. So for him to have cried, it's telling you that
No, it's a
that they actually kicked him messed up.
yeah. They kicked him a few. This thing of 4 boys.
Looking at stuff like happened to your son and my son also, I'm sure that a lot of parents now they have become a bit more paranoid when it comes to the children, especially with regards to bullying, because nobody wants a child to be bullied.
Never. We don't accept
Or
that.
we don't want to. We're not sending. If we look at how much sacrifice we make for our children so that they can have the best of homes, I always say to the teachers also, I said, I don't send my child there so that you can't watch him. I send him there because I think that you are the best person to take care of him over this few hours while he's not by my house. Because when he's by my house, I take very good care of him. Sy sal nooit sien dit so nog gekry soos hy nou gekry het. So the goal is, we know with the arts, people, if you go to a school and you want to give a preachy talk to say, yeah, you mustn't bully each other. Those people who do those talks, with all due respect, guys, I know it's your work, but I don't think the kids are really listening to you. Jy wat net kom en sê, bullying is not right. Under the article 76, 75 people a year is bullied. The learners don't care about
They
that.
switch off.
If you're going to bring a message like that, it needs to be from people that they like, people that they want to see, people that they look up to a certain extent. And it must be in such a way, and that's why we're doing it as a show, where they're actually entertained, and at the same time, they are learning about bullying. We did our first school, and the review on it was very, very good. I still feel like from our side, we will fix here and there. But a friend of mine also asked, he said, do you really think you can change bullying, impact it positively and get them to stop bullying with a show? So, but that's just the power of the arts. That's the power of the arts. Like if you start dreaming when you see your first play, like me. You start dreaming when you see the first movie that involves starting up a business, or when you read, this is art. This is art. A book. You understand? You picture it in your mind. How are you going to build this thing? So the art is the most powerful tool to fight this thing with. What else do we have?
If somebody wants to book you and or sponsor you or invest in your campaign, and where can they find this what is it, bullying? What's it called?
Stop bully.
Stop bully.
Anti-bullying campaign.
Stop anti-bully campaign.
That's the show's name is Stop Bully.
Stop bully.
It's actually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Straightforward. So you're hosting shows at certain schools.
We started at one school so far. There is one other person that came on board, a company that came on board that's gonna perhaps do the high schools, right? And then, but we said from the start, man, we don't want this thing to cost the schools anything.
Okay.
Because, like, look at it now. It is costing, because we have to pay the actors, you have to pay the people their time, they're working. But the school shouldn't be responsible for paying us. It should be the government. It should be our city, or it should be some company that comes in. Because right now the thing is standing still a bit, because there isn't any
There's no traction on it at the moment.
Yeah, but we've got the traction on social media. We've got 50, 60, 70, 80 schools wanting us to come. We can prove to the funders that, you know what, this is a definite need. And if you don't send us in now, this thing is going to get worse. Getting emails every day, yeah. And that's besides on our social media, people's commenting every day. That's just the teachers and principals that's saying, please come to our school. Now the mail goes like this. Hey, we want you to come to our school. We really like your thing. And then I go, yes, and we would love to come to your school. And yes, there is a bit of things involved. It's going to cost you so much. Hey, can you come? Then the response is, let me just speak to the things. Now I know these are no free schools. I didn't expect them to pay, but they really wanted. Now I'm trying to make it so affordable, so that we can just get the message there. Because at the heart of this is not about money. It's about us getting this message. It's a campaign.
No bullying.
Yeah, get the message out there and us believing. And I want to make it safe. If you put your child in front and you don't in front of this whole thing, I put my own child, I put him in front of the whole thing. Right? Because We didn't even do his school yet, no? And might not even do his school, but I'm gonna put him in front because he's still on school, right? This is how deep my interest is in it. I believe that if I work hard enough on this thing, that by the time my child gets to a certain age, he won't be bullied. And if I achieve that for him, I would have achieved it for a lot of other parents, and I would have achieved it for a lot of other kids, and I might even have changed their mindset. And while getting in there with the arts, I might even have gotten a few of them to fall in love with the arts, the way I fell in love with the arts. That was one thing that stood out at Golden Grove. The kids were like, I like the character Mano. I like the character Lisa. Auntie, you sing nice. You know, maybe they didn't even get maybe such a lekker kwai arts thing at the school in a long time. Maybe they got some talks, but they didn't get something as arty as that. So I've been around a very, very long time, my brother, for over it will be 31 years now. And I'm at that stage now where I want to impact the youth. I want to impact the next generation of singers. I don't want to do it too late like some of my colleagues. I feel that maybe going to start too late on it. I want to do it now. I've got the Faseef Piekaan trophy, which is a cultural trophy that is named after me. And now this bullying campaign will also, I'm hoping it will be part of our legacy that we can leave behind.
That's the message for you guys.
Be happy for each other.
Be happy.
Embrace each other's success.
Yes. Because if you light one person's candle, it's not going to diminish your candle. You understand? So
and everything is not a competition.
Yes, and make a good prayer, a dua for the person. When you see somebody, say mashallah, and you know, and say that, you know what, Allah Ta'ala, if you gave it to him, give it to me also.
Yeah.
And that's it. Don't say why did he get it, because if you're questioning why the Creator has given that, you actually questioning His decree. And who are you to question somebody else if the Almighty gave it to that person? Yeah. He's the giver of givers. So for you to feel that over there, that is not a godly thing, and that's something that you must purify your soul. You have to, you.
And Zam.
Yes.
Zam water.
I always say
Zam.
3 things, guys. You must protect yourself against this anger, jealousy, and lust, guys. If you don't control those 3 things, you lost it, my friend.
Okay, the last one is a
But anyways, guys, you've been watching the Securityguy'd Podcast, and hopefully we can bring Faseef back.
Amen, inshallah.